Welcome back, episode 16. Can you guys keep it down over there?
You won't,
okay?
You won't let me take my shoes off. You won't let me take my shoes off.
Well, yeah, because I don't want this room to stink. We're back for episode 16 of the Recap Room. I have to keep my co-host Tame over here. We spent the last 30 minutes just talking about nonsense. But now we're going to get on camera and Mike's and talk about nonsense, which is always
That was a good one.
Always
It's like,
a good one.
It's the Limp Bizkit song, Give Me the Mic.
Yeah,
You know?
you might be the only person. We will be the only people to know that.
That's not, you guys know
We
Limp
got to do a
Bizkit.
better job of that and understand that like most people don't live in.
I live in a fucking
In your
box.
world.
They don't live in a box like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they don't.
But today, this episode, we kind of decided that what we're going to talk about, the whole theme of the episode will be about what it's like, the behind the scenes, the ins and outs, the nuts and bolts of working with your friends, because there's such a stigma. I remember when I first got into real estate, but honestly before that, there's an old saying that you never go into work with friends and you never mix business and family either. A lot of times there's a lot of sayings that revolve around that. Yeah. And I am here to tell you that you can absolutely do it, but that requires a very, the expectations and the delineation between work time, friendship time, work time, family time, things like that have to be very clear from the start. And there has to be a lot of things that are done between all parties to make sure that it's done efficiently and done in a way that it doesn't
affect the
it doesn't ruin
friendship
your
or
friendship or your
relationship.
Think about how many times that happens. I mean, families
so
get
much.
torn apart over businesses. Friendships can get torn apart over businesses. Anytime money is involved.
Yeah.
Money, I don't think money brings out the worst in people, but I think money sometimes exposes, people's true colors a lot of times.
Yeah,
I don't know
I agree.
what you think about
Definitely.
I think the one really good thing that we did was even before we decided to kind of work together, that wasn't the plan to work together. The plan was like just, hey, Michael, can you help me out? I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then this kind of just came to fruition like in just somehow, some way, but
Call it God.
yeah. But I think the one thing we did was like we all like sat down. I don't even know if we all sat down, the three of us together. We did eventually. But in the beginning, even before the three of us sat down together, I think we all like talked individually to you and even to each other about like, okay, so when this happens, this is what we're gonna do. And we even wrote it out.
Yeah, we all.
It was like a contract.
Yeah, we all have, and I was very sure on this. I had an attorney look over and draft up a contract between all of us, because this is, again, like I said, friendship to me between all of us comes first over the business side of things. That's always the case. But at the same time, if you don't have things in writing, you can say all you want, handshake and this and that, but now it's like anytime there's anything, if there is any dispute over anything, which a lot of times there could be or there will be, there's no gray area. It's like, go to the contract, it's signed by both parties, it says this and this happens, so this is what we do to resolve it.
Yep.
And that is something that I want to, obviously, I credit my mentors for teaching me about that and kind of instilling that to me, because there's so many teams and businesses that
fall apart.
That fall apart because they're just working on like, oh yeah, no, I trust this guy, and by and large we do.
Yeah.
Like most of it, like I trust you guys more than I trust pretty much anybody. But at the end of the day, right? Like you guys are not you anymore. Just kidding. She fixed my hair up and made me look a lot better before on. So I do trust her for that side of things. But yeah, I mean, you have to dot your I's and cross your T's.
Yes.
Because if you don't, the second there's any dispute, somebody's going to feel like they're getting the short end of the stick.
Yep.
It always happens,
true.
though. You just got to be able to turn on and off like your relationship with that person.
Which sounds easier.
Yeah.
than
Yes.
I think it's completely circumstantial and who you're working with. It cannot be just like, oh, like you and your
random,
friend, whatever.
Yep.
Yes.
Me and my best friend or something, like, I don't know if we could run a business together, but them two in particular, they're like now you guys are like my family, I feel like. But when we started, we were just like friends. Like we weren't like, this is my best friend, I call him every single day. Gordy and I barely knew each other. Now I call Gordy every day.
Now he has to get FaceTime calls for an hour and a half.
I mean, you just have to be. You
He
can't
calls
be
me too, okay?
That's true. That's
I
true.
do.
Honestly, probably maybe more. Gordy, yeah. I think it goes both
But
ways.
I think for us, it worked so well for us that I didn't even think we knew it was going to work this well. Like it worked so well, like our communication towards each other, completely transparent. And I think that's our number
But
one.
I think it's where we
like,
started, though.
Yeah.
I think it's because of the fact that Sasha
way
and I
we
came
started.
into it not knowing what we wanted to do, where we wanted to be in life, and then Michael obviously taking the next step in his career in real estate of being like, okay, I learned what it was like to be on a team, then what it was like to be an individual agent, and now to a team lead, introducing us to then being like, hey, we're on a team, but this is your business.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
this is your business from day one. This is what you do to better your business.
Right.
I'll help you along the way, but at the end of the day, you're your own business.
We have a very different structure than I think a lot of teams do.
Yeah.
Where I wanted to, and I've made it very clear from day one, and I want everybody to understand this, that Gordy and Sasha don't work for me. Gordy and Sasha work with me.
He works for me.
But that's also that's also absolutely not true.
Baba LLC.
But it is true. I mean, real estate agents are all independent contractors.
Correct.
So the reason we form a team, and that's why I look at the team format of most teams in real estate, and I'm like, well, they can work, but at the end of the day, everybody that's working there as a broker is an independent contractor, and the reason they got into real estate is most likely the reason a lot of people get into real estate. I would say most people get into real estate is because they want to be in control of their own destiny,
Yes.
right? They want to run their own business. So instead of taking the approach that, all right, I'm the boss and Gordy does this, and I'm the boss and Sasha does this, and you have to fit inside my box.
You live in a box. Like, you're not putting, like, he's not
No,
putting
I
his
say-
name on, like, our MLS deals being like Michael Kaplan.
No,
Michael
no,
Kaplan.
it-
Like, it's
That's
our
the-
business.
I think that was, okay, I need to word this correctly. This is something I need to learn better. But I think the one thing we can attest to, like, having such a good team is your leadership too.
Yeah.
Because you were on a team before, I think the experience that he had in particular only helped him be better for us and kind of see, like, this is what he would have wanted for himself had he started, with the same kind of leadership that he is bringing to us. So I think that's what, we see your vision, but we also want that for ourselves too.
Right.
Yep.
So I think that's why it works. So I don't even know if I just made sense.
That made total sense.
That makes
total
complete sense, yeah.
It made total sense. No, and that's my goal, right? Like, my goal is to provide, again, I far from having everything figured out, but I want to be some sort of a beacon that you can be like, okay, well, I'm kind of at the forefront, taking the hits, making the mistakes, doing things
You're
the
like
same way
the
that you are.
firstborn child.
Yeah.
Like, they take the biggest hit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and it's a different
out.
role because in my real life, in my personal life, I'm the youngest. But now in this role, it's kind of like I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
Being the
Yeah.
team lead.
Wait, that's so funny because this is so off topic. Well, maybe. Well, like, my older brother is like, I made all these mistakes. Now you can do everything you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's there's a drink if Kaplan has a saying. But smart people learn from their own mistakes, but really smart people learn from other people's mistakes.
Yes.
True.
And so I have I love being a team lead. I personally love being in roles of leadership. I always have, even on sports teams. I loved when I was team captain. I think people always kind of looked at me as a leader, not in a self-aggrandizing way, but I think that's just been my natural position where my skill sets have led me. And I think that I love it because it allows me to take the information that I'm giving or getting, make all the mistakes, take the brunt of it. I mean, I firmly believe in taking accountability over everything in your life, like 100% of the time, even if it's not your fault. It's your responsibility to fix. And I love being able to bring that, wisdom and those different skill sets and then pass them along to somebody else because, you guys are leaders too. I don't like working with, it's like a flock of birds, one person starts up front and then they move back and then another one comes in.
Yeah.
So we all take different roles of leading, but we do it from a different perspective, a different point of view based on, the things that we've learned and the things that
100%.
have made us us. for lack of a better
so
term.
so cute.
Facts.
Yeah, I think that we definitely run differently than I think every other team.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like completely different. I mean, one thing that's different is that we have a team name that's not not normal, but
Yeah.
like a
It's
common.
not the Michael Kaplan group.
It's not the Michael Kaplan group. But your name is in there a little
Yeah.
bit because I mean, evidently you were the one that came up with it and started it and
Yeah.
took the brunt of it for the first
my,
couple years.
my face isn't on the logo.
Yes, but I
I don't think anybody would want to look at that.
Yeah.
A mean mug up there. But yeah, no, that's exactly it. That's why I deliberately chose a name like that. I don't want people to feel like if they, obviously you guys work on the team right now, but who knows, maybe we expand and get more people. I don't want people to feel like, oh yeah, I'm just working to make Michael money.
Yeah.
Because it's not that.
Yeah.
It's a two-way street. If you guys aren't succeeding, then the team's not succeeding.
Yeah.
And then I'm not succeeding in my role. So it's instead of, okay, what's going on in the team that's not, it's, again, back to the accountability part. What can I do to help Gordy run his business more efficiently, help Sasha run her business more efficiently?
Yeah.
And I don't have it all figured out. So it's what can I do to run my business more efficiently and then pass those, lessons on.
Yeah, but I think
And I will say that I think as a team, I don't know if other teams do this, maybe they do, but I think that our relationship, because we had such a good relationship and friendship prior to working together, and then Gordy and I spending so much time together and building that relationship, I think that like when there are times that we come in not 100%, that, I mean, they know. But you come in and like you really you support.
Yeah.
Like they'll do anything to make sure that we're all like on the same page. Like even if that takes them listening to me crying.
You have to be though.
You have to. If you're not running your business like a family, I think that you're doing a disservice to and I take a different approach to business than a lot of, stereotypical business people do, because I truly believe that the way, business is such a microcosm for so many other aspects of life. And, if you want to get the most out of your business, you can't expect people to show up every day and perform their best when you're not treating them the best, or you're like not interested in them at all, or it's like just not a place when people get up and don't want to go to work, to put it bluntly, they're not going to perform their best.
No.
Right?
And I think I'm sure a lot of people can relate. I mean, when I worked in corporate, a lot of it, your management and the leaders that you have in place for you, like pretty much set the tone.
Right.
100%.
Like set the tone for, how work is going to be done, your mood, I think, and just like the way you feel about work in general. So like I've had, bosses in the past, not bosses, like team leads or team managers or whatever, where they I knew they hated their jobs.
Yep.
So I'm not going to like my job, obviously.
Right.
Like if you hate it,
well, you don't see
I'm
any
gonna
growth.
hate it too.
If you don't see growth, then obviously you're going to hate it from day one.
Or I can even say this, I had an internship where I really thought I was going to learn a lot. It was kind of in a realm where I wasn't really that familiar with. It was more kind of analytical, which is not what I majored in or anything. So I was like, oh, this will be good. I needed a lot of help because I didn't, first of all, learn most of it in college. Mm-hmm. And I went to this internship kind of being like, you know what, I'll learn I feel like you learn better when you're doing it anyway. But then I would ask my manager, hey, can you help me? And he did not want to help ever. Literally, he was one of those figure it out, which is I get it. Tough love is good too. But I really was no, I don't even know how to use this software. Yeah. So whatever, YouTube. I just went to YouTube and obviously they want you to problem solve, but having that manager now, I never really wanted to ask questions. We had horrible communication. That was week one.
Yeah.
From week one, we had horrible communication, and we never had a good relationship after that, and it made work very tense, and then I didn't love it, and then it just spiraled. It
spirals, yeah. And think about how much, especially in this country, how much time we spend in our life working. I mean, it's crazy how, I don't know what the numbers are off the top of my head, but, average 40-hour work week, multiply that out by a year, multiply that out by how many years you're in the workforce. Such a big chunk of your life.
It is.
And I encourage anybody who's listening to this, if you're listening to this and you're well, I absolutely hate what I'm doing, and I'm working so much and I dread going to work every day and this. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna get easier.
No.
No.
You know, it's you're just putting yourself, because then you're working, and then all of a sudden you get your 5% raise, and you're like, oh well, maybe I could stay a little bit longer because I'm not. It's golden handcuffs. So
It
it's
is.
like, and again, I don't want people to be like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna leave because again, not every job's gonna be 100% perfect all the time. But if you're genuinely dreading going to work every single day because you can't stand what you do, and you're planning that is gonna be the future of your life, you know. There's gonna come a point where you're gonna
burn out.
You're gonna burn out. You're gonna completely burn out. People don't get burnt out from working too much. They get burnt out from working too much at something that they feel like has no
It's not
upward
letting them
mobility.
grow.
Yeah, not letting you grow.
That was I think the one reason why I left. I mean, I really thought I was going to work corporate for at least 10 years. Like I really did. No, this isn't corporate. I was trying to never mind. Moving forward, but when I did, I loved it, and it was nice and stable. Is what it was, and maybe what I need, but no.
Yeah,
we're good.
That's
but
what it is.
was.
It's stable.
It is stable, which I think is great for
It's comfortable.
so many people. I don't think everyone can do jobs where it's
Commission only.
commission only.
Oh.
No.
It's just, I think it was just all I knew. This is, for me personally, it's all I knew, and this is what I wanted to do. But then at the end of the day, when I worked that job, I was like, oh, okay, so like, I grow based on like, I need like an incentive, right?
Yeah.
I think that's, people change.
Yeah, people respond to incentives.
People respond to incentives. That's why, like, salespeople, like, they always say, oh, you'll win this if you meet your quota or whatever.
Get a new grill.
But
Here's a set of steak knives.
the problem with that job was it was a set salary, which is great. But for me, the problem was that I was like, oh, like, what can I do to get a raise? You know, like, I was like, I need something to work towards.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like, well, just like maybe in like 5 years.
5 years.
Maybe 10 years. And I was like, from what? Like, what do I need to do?
Yep.
And they're like, no, you just work.
Yeah.
And maybe
Show
in
up.
5 or 10 years we'll give you. And I was like, but so you're just gonna give me a raise just because I worked here for that long? They're like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, so I don't even need to work hard.
No, you just
And
gotta
then
show
I
up.
hated that.
And that's one of the biggest flaws with it's like the epidemic of quiet quitting.
Yes.
I don't know if you've
Oh,
heard that
yes,
term.
it's crazy.
But it makes total sense. I think if I was in a corporate job, I probably would do the same thing, because it's like you're getting paid a lot of times the same whether you're doing above
Phenomenal
and beyond
or not.
or
Yeah.
not, or just doing the bare minimum to
It's
not
ridiculous.
get fired.
Oh,
So
and I
then-
did the bare minimum.
Yeah, so then the incentive to want to go out there and work a bunch is not there. But in this line of work,
The incentive is there always.
It's always there.
because you eat what you kill. So it's like I wake up in the morning and I joke with people. I throw my bed sheets out and I get ready. I get right on my computer after doing my morning routine, and I'm like ready to just get to work.
Yeah, you
because
have
I
to.
know that like
If you don't,
if I'm not
we
putting
get nothing.
yeah, if I don't, I don't get anything. But
Yeah, you
if
gotta
I
put a lot of
do and I
input.
continue to do it on a day-by-day basis and push that needle, I'm in so much more control over my own destiny. I'll be damned if I let some, person above me in a job dictate my future of my future wife, my future kids,
Right.
where I'm gonna live, can I please take a week to go on a vacation? To me, that's not freedom.
No.
And I don't mean to poo-poo on anybody's decisions, because everybody's different. But for me, in my life and the way I look at things, and I know you guys are similar, that's absolutely not a way I want to live. Especially not. I mean, maybe now I would be able to stomach it, but in the future, I mean, absolutely not. I'm not going to be asking,
It's definitely really hard.
Hey, manager Jerry, can I take a 7-day vacation to Florida with my family? Well, you're out of vacation day. What vacation days? Like, what is that even about? Like, we're uncivilized, just made to just be this cog in a machine. Like, that's not what humans are here for. That's not what you're here for.
True.
And so,
I think a lot of people have started to notice this. I mean, we can go into corporate culture and talk about that for hours.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
there's a lot about it.
at the end of the day, I think people are now more so. I think
One-
becoming more aware of kind of how it works, and
Like
it's
I think
not-
our generation has become more aware, just seeing the past of like how it's always been run.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
like,
And I don't think it's all bad.
It's
I don't.
not.
I
No.
think corporate culture. I think some of it is good, but I do think that like you need to allow like your employees to grow a little bit more. That's the only thing I didn't really like. I didn't realize it was that bad until I went there.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, I guess this is how every job is and how just life works. But like the last job I was at, they definitely promote based on who they like.
Yeah.
Oh,
just talk
it's
about
all
that.
politics when it comes to that.
Sure.
I definitely should not have been even in the talks of being promoted there. There were definitely others that
More
deserved it, way more qualified, like work wise. But
I think
that
that's
personality hire.
Yeah, but that's what happens. That's the issue with corporate culture is when that happens, and someone who works their ass off and they don't get promoted, eventually they're just gonna be like, well, it doesn't matter what input I put in. So then they're just gonna get comfortable. And yeah, exactly. So in this, and I'm not saying real estate is
quiet
perfect.
Vacation. Have you heard of that?
Quiet what?
Vacation.
Yeah, people
That sounds like perfect for a quiet vacation.
How's that?
Please,
I don't know if that's
put
what
me on
it's
a
called.
quiet vacation.
Or
Don't
like work from like people that work from home like won't tell their like bosses or anything
which,
that they're
again,
on vacation.
understandable, like working from home. And
That's going to end soon. Working from home is ending very soon.
I don't
think
think
so?
so.
Yeah, because these companies...
No chance
yes,
they're
they
coming
will,
back in.
Because these companies pay a lot of money for these office spaces, and like they're...
Well, and their employees. I mean, if you look at any company on their balance sheet, if they have employees, it's their biggest expense.
Yeah.
Always. Is employees.
But I'm saying, like, they want them to come back in. I've already noticed it. A lot of people are, like, being told now, like, you can only work from home one day. It's like one day a week now.
1 day a week.
Because they're eventually going to bring you all the way back in. So
everyone I know in corporate works from home at least half the
me
week.
too. Yeah.
Dude, I'm starting to see
Unless
the 1
they're
days a
a
week
small
now.
company.
Yeah.
Like for example, my roommate works. I mean, she technically could work from home, but her company is like a smaller, kind of startup company. I mean, it's not really a startup anymore.
No,
it's been there for a while.
Right.
It's pretty established, but they go to the office every single day.
Yeah.
And just because they choose to, because the people that work there just like it, like it's more efficient for them. But it's also a smaller thing.
Setting.
But for everyone I know, like in corporate, like either they're like, oh, you gotta like swipe in once a week. Okay, they'll go to the office, swipe, and go home.
But that creates the bad part of corporate culture because you're just like, all right, well, if I can half-ass my job at home, I'll just half-ass it, and I'll still get paid the same amount if I worked hard or if I put 50% less work.
I think it's very telling of where we are as a country and a society, that I think a lot of people, like you said, are kind of waking up to this new idea. This whole I'll call it the old school American dream of, you graduate, you work for some big name corporation
for 40 years,
you get your retirement, you retire. They at 60 years old, they give you your Rolex and you drive off in your town and country Chrysler to your home with 2.2 kids. Like that's done. 2.2 that's done. That I don't think that's kids nowadays. They're like, that's not in the cards for me.
It's almost not even that. Go ahead.
I just don't even think. I don't think they look at that as like that's what I even either A, want to do, or B, think it's feasible.
Well, social media blew everything up into
everybody.
This new realm.
Everybody wants to be. You ask kids nowadays, what do you want to be? They want to be influencers,
be a
YouTubers, Twitch streamers, whatever. And I'm not. But it's all like. The gig economy is what they call it. So everybody's, doing their own, oh, this is my timer that's going off. But that's the new, I think, mentality for a lot of this stuff. And I think you see that pendulum.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely swinging.
It's definitely going to be interesting to see. I will, you know what? I think that too. But then I also, we're going to go down a rabbit hole because I was going to say like trade jobs are going to come back.
Yeah.
For sure. They're definitely coming back.
They're coming back already. I'm like literally like, to my little brother, I'm like, maybe you should
be a plumber.
Not kidding.
Yeah, 100%.
First of all, the money's fantastic.
I know.
It's not the best, most glamorous job, but like no jobs are really that glamorous. I mean, I'd probably rather get my hands dirty than like sit behind an Excel spreadsheet for 3 hours.
Yeah, and have some creepy guy massage your shoulders as he's walking by your cubicle. Like,
wait, you already do that to me.
Sorry, Gordy, please don't say that on the podcast.
God.
The HR department's going to be emailing me.
We don't have an HR.
Yeah, the HR. You're looking at the HR department, and I do absolutely nothing about anything, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so we're not big enough to have an HR
Michael.
department.
No, dude, I think trade jobs are back. I mean,
100%.
I would be an electrician.
You're kind of built like an electrician.
I did all the lighting in my basement.
Yeah,
With my
you
Uncle
did.
Al.
Really?
You did.
Me and Uncle Al, we did all the
Gordy
lighting.
gets his hands dirty.
Oh yeah.
Gordy would be like the plumber that like when they kneel down by the kitchen
Got
sinks,
his
like their
ass
butt
hanging.
crack
Yeah.
No,
comes
that's
out.
he's gonna listen. Garrett, he bent down and his ass was fully out, and I took a photo. I'm like, my plumber. Literally, it was the funniest thing.
No,
but trade jobs, all
It's
these.
gonna be a culture shift.
It's already starting to happen.
Dude, parents are like trying to get their kids to be like TikTokers. Big Justice. I had to bring it up because I was like waiting for you.
That's what they want their kids to be.
They literally are grooming their kids like
but
that.
regardless,
I want to be an influencer.
If you're watching this, Big Justice, AJ, you're cool and all, but I'm Team Rizzler.
That's not what he said before the cameras were on. I'm just letting you guys know he was.
I'm keeping it PG.
attacking.
I'm keeping
Attack.
it.
It was rated R.
It's not attack, but
Big Justice, you're an
just
unbelievable
know,
baseball player.
Rizzler, I'm on your.
Rizzler.
I don't know what is going on. I have no idea what is
This
going
is
on.
like when you talk about Love Island. This is our Love Island.
Yeah, this is our Love Island.
Like,
shout out to Rizzler.
Yeah.
Except people actually know what I'm talking about.
No, people.
Who's like Odell's brother?
Don't you
It's
dare!
Cordell.
Don't you
Who's
disrespect
Cordell's
the
brother?
Rizzler like that? You hear this disrespect?
What'd she say? I don't even
She
know
goes,
what she said.
people know who I'm talking about. Like they don't know the Rizzler.
Dude,
that's disrespectful.
They should send all
Who's
those
the
people
Rizzler?
back to the island. I want to go to the island. I had to throw that in there. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh my god! I hope that stays.
That
in.
might have to get cut.
Cut.
That might have to get cut.
I don't even care. At this
I
point.
popped in my head right away.
We're about to wrap it up here because we're going off the rails. But we've been thinking an idea because we keep it somewhat tame on here. But you could tell towards the end we get a little bit more loose.
You
and
guys
rough.
want me? If you want me to take the collar off, I will.
We work in a brokerage, so like there's rules and regulations we have to follow, whatever. But like our real personalities, like what we really say when the mics are off, we could get on here and
I
do
think
it.
it's so funny, but I don't know how well it would do.
I don't know how well it would do.
I don't think it would do that well. I think it would get too.
That
too
was
much.
just a little taste.
That was
What
not even
Jordan
like
just
that
did.
was.
That was like when you go to Cold Stone and you get the little spoon.
Yeah.
But I mean, it can get a little crazy.
Yeah,
So if you guys are interested in that and you'd watch that and you think it would do well, then maybe we'll try. And get a little
Next
more crazy on
episode
here.
we're gonna recap the DNC.
Not that. But yes, I think that
Oh,
pretty
boy.
much covers everything here.
Yeah.
We got a good.
At the end of the day, you can definitely work with your friends. You just have to make sure.
You gotta work with
You
the
know,
right
everything.
friends. You can't if it's like a friend you're like, oh, like we like going out together and partying. Like obviously you're not gonna be able to work together because you're gonna hate each other.
You got to
You
work
don't
with
want
the
to go
right.
out and party with me?
You
No,
gotta,
absolutely
You got to
not.
work with the right people. Period. They could be friends. They could be
Yeah.
family. They could not be friends. They could not be family. There's people get into business with people, and it doesn't work out that aren't friends or family.
I think what you can tell is if it's someone where we line up in values. Like it's
Right.
not like
Yes.
it's one of your friends where you're just like, I know that
Yeah,
whenever
yeah.
I go to them, I know that I'm gonna get the answer.
Treat it
I'm
like a
looking for.
relationship.
Yeah.
That's what you have
Yeah.
to do because you're going to be married to your business, whether you like it or not. Your business becomes an extension of you. It has to. Otherwise, especially in this
agree.
line of work, anytime I'm out, anytime I'm doing anything, you got to be on your A game because, you know,
You never know who you're gonna meet.
You never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to run into, and you want to be presenting yourself. How do you want to present yourself? Think about that. That's something to put in your pipe and smoke tonight. How do you want to be?
Yeah.
How do you want to present yourself to the outside world at all times? And if
Oh,
you're running a
man.
business, it becomes important to do that.
Yeah.
So.
I also think associate. I mean, I love to brag about them. Like I think that's also people.
Yeah,
people you need
likewise.
to
I
work with. As if
100%.
you're, like if I wouldn't. I don't know how to say this. I can't speak today.
No,
Let's just
you're
put it
speaking
that
good.
way.
You're
You've
speaking
been
good.
good. That was good.
Like I work with people that you never want to be like the smartest person in the room.
Right.
I don't feel that way when I'm with them.
I've never
especially.
felt the smartest person in the room ever in my entire life.
And,
Ever.
I don't know about.
She's smart. I'm not even kidding. Like I genuinely have never.
Yeah, we learn so much from each other.
Yeah, we do. And I think
I'm still going through
like,
puberty.
As I was saying, this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about how we get off the rails once we get past minute 30.
You
Yes.
have to.
Okay,
Yeah.
we could
Your
wrap
friends
it
are a
up here.
reflection of yourself, though. That's actually you should take
Yes.
that away from.
Yeah.
Yes,
So make sure
that's
you hang
what
out.
I was trying to
make
say.
sure you hang out with the right people and you're growing with the because there's you're in friend groups where you're like, are we growing or are we
Yeah.
just like the same as we were 5 years ago?
Very
Right.
much agree
And
with
it's a
this.
harsh reality that a lot of people have to face it, and it's scary because it's like maybe, hey, like they are my friends, but maybe I need to find people where we share those similar beliefs and values where we want to grow.
Yeah.
And if it's your career, your
And
personal life, whatever it may be.
Sometimes that means taking time to be alone a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, and
Live in a box.
Live in a box.
Jay Cutler.
Go to the gym and work for a little bit of
Yeah.
time and find who you really are. I firmly believe in that, but
I
I'm a
do
little
believe in that
crazy.
too.
I will like to say that both Gordy and Kaplan are my full-time therapists. I was going to say part-time, full-time therapists.
Not paid.
So I've heard-
I'm putting that on my LinkedIn.
Not paid either.
Unpaid full-time therapists, and I wish that I was joking because I'm seriously not. And I think that I've heard all these things before, but they're very much right.
True.
In everything.
If you ever want to go into business with
I
friends.
think whenever I need advice in any part of my life, work obviously, and then even in just personal life, I come to both of them just because they'll give it to me straight, and they'll always the best part about working with them is they'll always look at what's in my best interest.
Exactly. We always look out
Whether
for
that's
each other.
in work, even if like you're like, oh yeah, like you just take this because it'll benefit you, and he's done that. Even till now, like when we started, obviously, like there were times where he was like, no, you guys do this, totally trusting us with, some of his clients,
Yeah.
which I don't know if I would have done that.
Yeah.
But
it's because
we didn't know what the hell we were doing.
I have total faith in you guys because I know I knew the same mentality that I had when I was in your shoes of, I don't know if I can do this. And then I did it, and then I built that confidence over
Right.
time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, you guys doubt yourself, whatever, and I have more belief in you sometimes than you have belief in yourself. So
I'm going to cry now. And
and we're going to end on that so Sasha can go cry.
thanks.
But
Sounds about-
as always, guys, thank you for listening, and
We
love
love
ya.
you.